Coolidge, Arizona. Population less than 13,000. This land is not for the faint of heart. Some call this land brutal, harsh, unforgiving. It's home to the type of heat you can see. Heat that looms and punches hard. This land is only fertile for the resilient and generous for the determined few. Because what does emerge from this corner of the earth is something else entirely. This is not a common place, and Nikola is not a common company. Today, we send our shovels into the earth below. Yes, we will dig. Yes, we will begin building a new legacy. But what we're really celebrating isn't the breaking of ground, rather the emergence from it. An arrival at the revelation that this is where we belong. That the ability to adapt and thrive is as core to Nikola as anything. And so what better place to begin our next chapter? A chapter focused on zero emissions and preserving land than this place, whose message needs no interpretation. Today, we earn our yield. Today, we build with purpose. Today, we welcome you to the future of Nikola Motor Company.
Please welcome the Chief Executive Officer of Nikola Motor Company, Mark Russell.
Good morning and welcome. Thanks for getting up early and coming here. Maybe not early enough. My first job is to give you a safety briefing. We're not about only changing the world, but keeping everybody safe. That's our first goal at Nikola, is to keep everybody safe. And we have a little bit of an Arizona monsoon headed towards us over here. We're tracking it on the radar. It may go around us. If it doesn't, then we'll let you know if we have to change the order of things. If there's lightning, we may have to ask you, because of the tent poles, to go back to your cars for a little bit. So sit back, relax. We'll watch the weather for you. We'll let you know if you need to take shelter in your car. And if it starts raining, everybody will know, and you'll see a flurry of activity for that. And hopefully the tents will provide us some protection for that. But welcome. I've been involved in many greenfield facilities in my career, some that were pretty important around the world. I've been involved in building a big facility in China, and I remember going to that place before it was built. And I've been involved in building a large facility in Latin America where, again, we showed up on a day like this to some raw land like we are today. And it gives me a little bit of extra vision for today. I can see in my mind's eye what's going to happen here. And this one is like the others, but in one way, it's not. It's not. Those were about jobs. They were about economic growth. They were about creating value for shareholders and other stakeholders, for the community, for customers and suppliers. All that was true, and that's true here. But those were not about saving the planet. What we do here today, if we are successful together, will be in the history books someday. This will go down as an event that was important in the history of mankind, because one of the hardest challenges we're going to have to solve as a species on this planet is how to stop digging up and burning fossil fuels to power our lives. And this is going to be a big step for that, because one of the hardest things to eliminate fossil fuels from are the big things that move. The bigger something is, the harder it is to move with zero emissions. Nikola and our partners have technology to do that. You see it right in front of you. We've proved these on the test track. They work. We can haul full loads of freight, long distances across interstate type highways all over the world with zero emissions. That's our vision, that's our model. And speaking of vision, it's vision and faith in that kind of vision that is the reason that we're all here today. because of people who had the vision not only to build this facility when it's just raw land today, but had the vision for this whole thing. It was 7 years ago when I was in a different business at that time. I was making parts for automobiles and other things in a different company. When we picked up a new customer for a division we had that made pressure cylinders, carbon fiber pressure cylinders, and that team said, hey, we got a new customer, and they're growing like gangbusters. It's amazing. And every month they did. The orders went up every month, every month, every month. And I said, finally, I said, who are these people? They said, well, it's a startup company out west, and they're doing natural gas fuel systems for trucks, and they're buying our tanks as natural gas fuel tanks for their trucks, for their system. It's called D-Hybrid. I said, who's behind this? It's a bunch of young, crazy people. The leader's only like 30 years old. And I said, I would like to meet these folks. So we flew out to where D-Hybrid was headquartered at the time in Utah. And I met Trevor about 7 years ago. I walked in the room, we started talking, and within moments I had a sense. I had no idea that what was going to happen, but I had a sense that this was a special young man. And he talked about his vision for reducing emissions with natural gas. And I was so caught up in that and in his vision that I eventually convinced the board of directors of my previous company to buy D-Hybrid from Trevor and his investors. And Trevor briefly became an employee of my previous company, was reporting to me. And he lasted as an employee of me for about as long as he did in college, which wasn't very long, because he had things to do. He walked in my office one day and he said, you know, I was only doing natural gas fuel systems on the way to building a truck and an ecosystem for a truck. That's my real vision. I've even got the name. I'm going to call it Nikola after Nikola Tesla. Since Tesla got the last name, I got the first. I've got the name already. I own it. I got a plan, and I'm going to go build a truck. And if you're smart, you'll back me in this. But either way, I quit. And he quit working for me that day. And we did. We backed him. My previous company became a seed investor and kind of incubated the start of Nikola in Trevor's basement. There's some great photographs in our headquarters of those days in the basement. And that's just 5 years ago, from the basement to here. Isn't that amazing? That's just amazing. And we're just getting started. We are just getting started, just the beginning. If you had the vision for what could be here, it's going to be amazing. It's not just going to be us, but an ecosystem to accomplish this vision. It's going to take lots and lots of people, lots and lots of resources, lots and lots of help. And we're so grateful we're getting it so far. And we believe we're going to continue to get it. So I hope that you'll give a warm welcome to that visionary founder and executive chairman of Nikola, Mr. Trevor Milton.
Oh man, hey everyone, thanks so much. I appreciate it. I got plenty of space here. I can take off my mask and talk to you guys. Wow, what a journey we've been on in this world. Even the last 12 months, Mark talked about it. I started in my basement, built up the company with people that were incredibly talented around me. And I learned a lot from my previous companies to this one, and one of them was how important the team is. We've assembled one of the best teams in the world, and that's what's helped us get here so fast. It's not about me. I definitely am a visionary, there's no doubt. I love to see into the future. I love to fix complicated problems. I love to vertically integrate, or even just look at supply chains and look at how we can possibly make these better. But I couldn't do it without people that were much better or much smarter than me. And that's one of the things I learned in my life, was how important it was to hire the best people in the world around you. This last 12 months have been incredible. Where we're at now, no one would have ever thought that. We're breaking ground right now. 12 to 14 months, we hope to have our buildings, we believe we'll have our buildings up, where we can start to actually produce limited runs of production off of our assembly lines. The timeline's incredible, but where we've come from to get to this point is even more incredible. We partnered with Iveco out of Europe. Why did we do that? We wanted someone who had an enormous amount of history in building semi-trucks. Someone who could help us turn that thing right there, and that thing, the Megatron, into a reality. A real life, a truck that could actually last 1 million miles without breaking down. And that was something we lacked at Nikola. We did not have, teams that had 20, 30 years of experience in building chassis. We had a lot of experience, but not, we wanted people that had been in the field, people that were experts, chassis manufacturing experts, warranty, service, maintenance experts, and we got that with Iveco. With Iveco, they're helping us build our trucks from the ground up off of billions and billions of dollars of their their technology and their platforms. So we're able to use that in our trucks. They're helping us get going. How are we able to build these trucks so quick? Well, we will be the first OEM that we know of to hit the market with a 300+ mile zero emission semi truck. We have 5 of them coming off the assembly line right now in Ulm, Germany. They're being tested in Germany, built in Germany, validated in Germany, and then they're brought to America to be built here. And this is how we split it up, because Iveco's out of Italy and Germany, so we really wanted to make sure we could use all the resources, their testing tracks, everything. It takes decades to set these facilities up ourselves. So we decided to use the best of the best and have them help us. So where we've been at in the last 12 months has been remarkable. Where we're going to go in the next 12 months is even more remarkable. I still can't believe how far we've come. The groundbreaking today is a big deal, an exciting time for us. It's our time to, we promised the world we were going to build this factory. And if you look online, social media, I love it because, probably 70% of social media is very negative. They're going to hit you for everything wrong you've ever done. And every one of them said, Nikola will never break ground. It's a total fraud. The company's not real. And every day I kind of laugh and I use that for motivation. So the more they come at us, the more excited I am and the harder I work. And it's one reason why we get things done so fast is because we got a lot of naysayers out there. But what they don't see is they don't see the background. They don't see in Phoenix here, over 400 engineers, around 400 engineers at our facility here, and thousands more around the world working on the trucks. They won't see the hundreds of construction workers building here. They'll only see walls go up. They won't see the thousands of people around the country supporting the Nikola trucks. They'll only see the truck driving down the road. What they see is like the image you see online a lot of times where it shows the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg, and the big part is really below it. We have so many incredible people here at Nikola, so many incredible people at Iveco, and so many incredible people with our partners like Wabco, like Bosch, Meritor, so many other ones that helped us get to where we are today. We could not be here without the best industry partners in the world. So today's a big day. We get to break ground on our factory. The master plan is gorgeous. It's actually in the symbol of the Nikola, if you look at that. So I hope you guys get a look at this master plan. It actually is our logo, and it's built out on these 400+ acres here. We're going to be building over 35,000 trucks a year out of this place. Thousands of new jobs, helping the community, helping the schools, helping the helping the locals, helping the parks, helping their families go to school, like mortgages, everything. The effect we're going to have on the community is incredible, and it's a blessing for me. I mentioned earlier to someone that when you go to a very large city, you get lost, you get gobbled up. When you come to Coolidge, you get to see the town and the people and the families that you truly affect. And when I had a chance to choose where we were going to put this, we had a choice to put this in a lot of different cities where people were just 5 miles away from everything you can imagine. And I wanted to help a community. I grew up in a small town for quite some period of my teen life. I saw how important it was to help the economics of a small town. This is the town we chose on purpose. We wanted this. We wanted to help people. We wanted to help their families. We wanted to help the community. And I get the joy later to introduce some very special people, especially from the Gila Indian community. I'm so very grateful for that. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that later. But today, right now, I'm very excited, and I get to let the great people that are part of this company go up after me and tell you how we're going to execute it. So thank you so much for coming out. It's beautiful. And I'm going to get going early because I want to beat this weather. So I had a few more things to cover, but we're going to beat it right now and let the next team come up. So come on up.
Let's welcome the CEO of the Greater Economic Council of Phoenix, Mr. Chris Camacho.
Well, good morning. I want to give a warm welcome to Nikola Motors to Arizona. The engagement, yes. The engagement with Nikola dates back to 2016, where I had the pleasure with many others that are here today to go up and visit Trevor and the team up in Salt Lake City. And I can tell you at that time, Arizona was evolving. We were maturing to become this major technology hub that in emerging automotive specifically, we were getting a lot of looks globally. And as we went up to this specific facility up in the Salt Lake region, and I saw Trevor on stage with many of the other colleagues, we were all blown away by the potential that this company provides. At the time, I will tell you this too, we were sitting there with 30 other states that also wanted to compete for Nikola's business. And so over the course of the last several years, and then more accelerated over the last 12 months, we worked with Tom Stringer and many of the colleagues that worked on this project, the utilities, the community. I know Jakob's going to say a few words here in a little bit, but it goes without saying, Arizona loves to compete. We love to welcome emerging technology companies. Our legislators that are here, I saw Jeff Winiger, I saw Leach, TJ Shope, many others. We create a pro-business environment intentionally to help companies grow and scale and meet their speed to market needs. This specific region is the fastest growing region in the United States. In this specific location, you will see as you look out on these farm fields, in the future, this will become a juggernaut of emerging technology, production areas that produce elite products that go to consumers all around the country. So for the past 12 years that I've been working at Greater Phoenix Economic Council, our focus has been to partner with other organizations like the AZ Tech Council and others to unite under Governor Ducey's direction, along with Arizona Commerce Authority, to build Arizona-based brands. And that's exactly what we're celebrating today. Nikola Motors, breaking ground, going to scale. And one thing I'll leave you with to Trevor and the team, because there's a lot of friends and colleagues on staff here, is we do this hard work, assemble all these properties, do the infrastructure planning, so that at the end of the day, we have thousands of construction workers working on site that are employed, that impact livelihoods here in the state of Arizona. And then the long-term staff that'll run and operate this facility. This is all about changing home lives. And so today we get to celebrate with Nikola Motors and the team, and I'm certainly honored to play a small part in that. And thank you to the team for allowing me to be here. Thanks.
And now, let's hear from the mayor of Coolidge, Arizona, Mr. John Thompson.
Good morning. Welcome to Coolidge, Arizona. It's my pleasure to welcome you here today. Welcome, Nikola. Welcome all our honored guests. I have some notes here with me. The reason I have notes and nobody else did is because when we had our briefing yesterday, I'm the one that got stuck with the numbers. And I'm not going to remember all the numbers, and I don't want to be misquoted and then have social media eat me alive. So here we are. When we first started this project, the city had Elliot Pollock do an analysis on what was in it for the region and the city and the company itself. We came up with the impact of the operation would create a total of 3,685 jobs regionally, which would come out to $225.9 million in wages and generate over $1.2 billion in economic output. The new facility will create significant public benefits in the form of employment, taxes, and public infrastructure. 1,762 full-time jobs at build-out, which is 5 years, 1,923 indirect jobs, and by 2024, a total number of construction jobs will be 3,246. For the city of Coolidge, the first 10 years, Nikola is expected to generate $12.6 million in net revenue for the city, and over 20 years, the total is nearly $21.2 million for the city. So as you can see, no matter what kind of deals that were negotiated, it's going to be very profitable for everyone involved, the state, the county, the city, and Nikola, to be here in Coolidge. And we are in Coolidge. There seems to be some some concern or some confusion, if you will, on where this plant's going to be located. It's Coolidge, Arizona. And we thank Trevor for that. It was almost 2 years ago that we met with Trevor and his team on a berm, on a canal bank actually, right a mile from here, a mile north of here. And we had a little watermelon, and we talked about just about everything except business of building trucks. And I knew when they were driving away that we had a pretty good shot at getting the factory here. You can always judge what kind of individuals you're dealing with when you talk to them about issues other than business. At that point in time, I made my mind up that we were dealing with an individual that had a team that was a pretty straight shooter, and I thought we would be in pretty good shape dealing with this individual, and I think we will be. When we met in the briefing yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, Wednesday afternoon, they said, well, what impact will this have on Coolidge? Well, one of the things that we've seen already is after they announced at Canal Partnership Breakfast that it was coming to Coolidge, everybody said, well, why Coolidge? What's going on? Why would they ever come to good old Coolidge? Well, there's a lot of reasons. I'm not going to go into them now, but I can tell you the phone started ringing, and it hasn't stopped ringing since at our city buildings. Right now, there's a builder came in from Seattle. He builds in downtown Phoenix, but he's building 398 apartments in Coolidge right now, in part because of the people that will be working at and building this factory. We had a pediatrician that came and talked to me and moved her business out of Santan Valley into the city of Coolidge because they expect a baby boom, and they want to be set in here because they expect people to be moving to Coolidge. We have 3 or 4 new major builders that have moved into Coolidge, bought up a bunch of lots, and they're starting to build houses. So just right there, the fact that they've announced and we're finally having the groundbreaking, which is pretty quick. There's other builders that have taken a lot longer to do a lot less. So things are rolling along. They're doing a pretty good job. One of the things, and I know I didn't have very much time to say anything, and I might be odd, but there were a few people. I don't get a chance to say much and there are a lot of people that were involved in this that I haven't had a chance to really recognize, and I may never get another opportunity, and I may make these guys mad, but I'm going to say it anyway. Jacob Anderson, Jakob Anderson, and Matt McCormick, you guys did a great job. Thank you. Steve Miller, Pinal County Board of Supervisors, thank you very much. You guys have had our back all the way, and we appreciate it. Tim Knievel, you're great. Thank you for what you do. Tom Stringer, best in the business. If you're doing something and you don't use him, you're making a mistake. Coolidge City Council, Vice Mayor Henry, you guys are great. I'm one vote. I'm one guy. You guys are great. All the other people that at the city, you've done a great job. And last but not least, Trevor Milton. You know, when we were on that canal bank, I could tell what kind of guy he was. And a couple of weeks, well, more than a couple of weeks, about a month ago, he called me when the cities were having all these problems financially. And he said to me, I want to help Coolidge. I want to help your citizens. It's not going to be a corporate thing. It's me. It's my own money out of my personal account. What can I do to help your citizens? And so we're going to devise something. Let me know what you guys need. I'll take care of it. And so we're in the process of doing that. I had a good feeling about this relationship as it was. He was sincere, and he told us a long time ago the same thing he just said here. He came here when they say, why Coolidge? Because it is a small town, and we're looking to grow with a company. We need a partner, and this will be a good partner. This will be a good relationship. There's a million other reasons to pick Coolidge, but I think he picked it for the right reason. And so I just want to say, we have a saying down here, Coolidge strong. And Nikola and Trevor, you're part of our family now. And I just want you to know that we've got your back. Thank you for coming to Coolidge.
Please welcome to our stage the President and CEO of Saint Holdings, Jakob Anderson.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to this historic event. Trevor, Nikola, welcome to Inland Port, Arizona. This is an absolutely awesome event, and thank you so much for choosing our industrial park to be the home for Nikola. We were part of the journey a few years ago when they were going through their site selection process. Britton, Trevor, Tom Stringer, GPEC, Arizona Commerce Authority, the city and the state and the county all came together to make this happen. And it's going to be a game changer for the region. We've been developing industrial parks and developing land down here in Pinal County for a decade. And I think we have changed the landscape now with this company coming here. And we hope that we can continue to do so through further developments. Just north of here, we have a further 2,000 acres to help the supply chain and the other industrial manufacturers that are going to come to the region. We've worked tirelessly to ensure that the workforce is going to be available for Nikola, and that there is synergies between the county and the city and the state, so that the ongoing success of our industrial park and Nikola being here is going to be happening every day. So with that, I appreciate everyone being here today. Again, Mayor, thank you for the support of the city, to the Board of Supervisors at the county, we appreciate you. And Trevor, welcome to Inland Port, Arizona. We appreciate it.
One of Nikola's own. Let's welcome the head of global manufacturing, Mark Duchesne.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to my home. This is where I'm going to be. I'm the new guy to Nikola. I was asked to talk to you about how I got here. I really think this is where I was meant to be all along. I've just taken a long path on my way. When I was just a kid, my father was a shipper and receiver. These days we call him a logistics specialist or some other fancy title. But he booked trucks and sent trucks all over the country. He put me with a guy that was starting his own company and said, go with him. And I traveled as an 11-year-old with this truck driver all across the US. I remember every truck stop really vividly smelling diesel at the time. I didn't know it at the time, but I was thinking, wow, this doesn't seem right. I was going to be a truck driver at 12 years old, and that was my dream. I never really got to do that. Life changed. I went into the automotive world. The automotive world led me to learn everything I know about building vehicles. Then I got into the EV world and realized this is the way things are supposed to be. We shouldn't be polluting. We should have a sustainable environment. That led me to trucks. Full circle. I've come back to trucks, and I'm helping to make things better. And I think you'll find if you talk to anybody at Nikola, will tell you that the reason we want to do this is we want to change the world. We want to make things better. So I'm super pleased to be here and start with the construction on this factory. Mayor, I'd like to think that the baby boom's going to happen, but we're going to hold it off for just a little bit. These guys will be too busy working for a little bit. What you see here behind this screen is where it's all going to start. I'm going to give you a really quick overview of how this goes. Construction starts today. Okay, there's been a lot of questions about, are we really going to do this? What's going on? Yes, the permits have been applied for. The site plan is in. Our partner Wallbridge is here. They're working on the detailed engineering. In most construction projects of this size, it takes months to develop the engineering to be able to do this site. We are truly fast-tracking this to get going as fast as we possibly can. As Trevor said, we'll have the buildings up in 12 months. I'm going to say today, I'm going to try to do much better than that, Trevor. I'm going to try to have buildings up in 6 months and start building trucks here as soon as we possibly can, while we finish off the rest of the construction. Okay? Behind me is what you're going to see as phase one. Phase one will be our assembly project. The assembly buildings will follow out here. We're going to start with phase 0.5, where we're going to try to get a building up first while we finish the rest. It'll all be for the assembly. Phase 2 will be an expansion of that assembly as we increase production here in Coolidge. And phase 3 will be where we'll add future weld and paint shops so that we can assemble the entire truck right here in Coolidge. At the very back of the site will be our test track. I don't have the proof to say it, but I think we're going to have one of the most innovative test tracks in the world, where we're going to have a multi-use test track. We can test trucks, we can test wave runners, we can test side-by-sides, all in the same space. It's going to be a super exciting place. Off to this side is where you're going to see where we'll store the finished trucks. You're going to see 3 entrances and exits out of this property. We're going to bring parts in one side, people up the middle. Finished trucks are going to go out that side, out to our customers. It's going to be a really super exciting project, and I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
All right, guys, sounds great. This is a pretty cool. This is one of the subjects I'm really looking forward to. I'll stand this way too to help block that wind. It's one of the subjects I'm excited to talk about. You know, as the world transitions, there's a lot of things that have happened. Thousands of years ago, tribes lived on this land, and they farmed this land. There's multiple tribes. There was over 4 of them in the valley, with some other ones that had come in to join them. And what was special is these tribes were they were not like a lot of other tribes around the world. They were actual engineers. They were farmers. They created canals all through the valley here to be able to water, because one of the sayings they have is the essentially Akumuatham, which is the people of the river. And it's also the people of the canals. A lot of the canals you see in Phoenix have been carved thousands of years ago by this community. This community is an amazing community. It's the Gila River Indian community. And one of the questions I asked the Governor Stephen Rowe is, I said, Governor, how can we make the tribe proud? This land belonged to them. They were here for thousands of years. Over 2,000 years ago, they were right here. And one of the questions I had is, how do we make you proud? That's a big thing to me. It's a privilege to be here on the land that they gave up, that they gave us, that they're here to support us. And one incredible thing about that community is they loved to build. They were builders and engineers. And I don't think there's a better thing that we can do than to build for them in a way that is protecting the earth and is carrying the legacy of how important it is. They have the Otham language, and what's incredible about the Gila River Indian community is the most important things to them is that they're stewards of the land, that they're builders, that they're in harmony with the earth as well. And one of the things they say is water is life. I don't know of a more fitting quote coming from their community than water is life. Nikola is turning water into an energy through hydrogen that can power our world indefinitely with sustainable abilities to scale without any environmental impact or minimal environmental impact to the world. But water truly is life. And that's what we're using to propel these vehicles down the road, to be able to deliver goods. And I couldn't be more proud of it. I mean, this is what we're doing here. And when he told me that phrase, that water is life, it was just like, how awesome is that? That's my way of giving back to this community that's been 2,000 years building this valley so every one of us can be here. It's pretty cool. I want to try as hard as I can to have harmony here on this property. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to be building solar and hydrogen here to sustainably power this facility to where it's completely zero emission. That means from production to consumption. And what I want to do now, because the storm is getting closer, I want to introduce Governor Stephen Rowe Lewis. Governor, if you can come up, this was your land and your people. Thank you for letting us actually be on here.
Thank you. Thank you, and Skook Siotic. Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you. Thank you, Trevor. And again, welcome to our land here. The Mayor of Coolidge, Pete Rios, I see former Senator Flake, TJ Shope, business leaders and also the political leaders here. The Gila River Indian community, we're proud to have such great relationships here under this tent and with the city of Coolidge as well. Our students go to school in Coolidge. Our people come and they utilize and they shop and they come and they utilize the businesses in Coolidge. And so it's only right that we see these connections here, both economically, and thank you, Trevor, for at least bringing this full circle in regards to how Nikola is using this technology, innovative technology, to bring jobs, to bring businesses here. This is good news because we are going through such a difficult time in this pandemic, but this shows that business can move on. And for the community, we had historically have been innovators. As you can see just down the road, a national monument, the Casa Grande ruins, the big house, the Savant Vaki, as we call it. That was truly an engineering marvel, built out of adobe. Our canal systems, as was said, Trevor, he's a student of history, and I really appreciate the land acknowledgement as well in regards to this area. Trevor, and to all of Nikola, our doors are always open to you for any future collaborations in this incredible business opportunity that is happening. So thank you everyone, and have a blessed day. And we, as the Gila River Indian community, we appreciate the opportunity for this land acknowledgement and also to welcome them to our Autumn Juba, to the lands here, and look again forward to future collaboration. Thank you. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. So it's coming in hard. So what we're going to do real quick, there's some cards inside your little gift box. What we're going to do is I want you guys, everyone here, I want you to sign your card and leave it. Why? Because we're going to take those signatures, we're going to scan them, and we're going to build them into something, into the ground here when we build the factory, and this will be here forever. So make sure you sign your name, and we want, sign your signature, and we want to be able to have that. You can put your name on it as well if you'd like. What we're going to do now is we're going to do the groundbreaking. So it's for social distancing, it's going to be myself, Mark, Governor, and who's the fourth one? We just barely changed this. Mark, you want to come on up, and Governor, come on up. And the mayor. So the mayor, if you want to come on up, all four of us are going to break the ground and grab a shovel. Let's get the music going.
Please remain vigilant and safe.
Hurry, we got to go. The storm's coming. It's coming, literally. Yeah, okay. All right, guys, so we want to face the audience here, okay? All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Woo! All right. Yeah. All right, sounds good. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. All right, everyone, thank you so much. We're going to try to wrap this up before the lightning is starting to strike right over here. Thank you all for coming. Now we get to start building this great place.
Thanks for being with us this morning. Please remain vigilant and safe as you make your way to your next destination. So long from Coolidge. We'll see you soon.